Right, it's 4 p.m. and we're bringing you the developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Diego Castro. Some stories we're watching this Tuesday, August the 4th. Former COA State Auditor Roderick Wamil returned to the witness stand on day 12 of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Wamil testified that both the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education committed alleged irregularities in their use of confidential funds due to missing or insufficient supporting documents. Both agencies were under Duterte for a time. He also said DepEd's planning documents failed to identify specific confidential activities to justify millions of pesos spent under its programs. Wamil went on, using confidential funds for maintenance and other operating expenses violated existing joint circular guidelines.
Meantime, Prosecution Counsel Lorna Kapunan called the alleged misuse or use of confidential funds a scam, but the remark was stricken from the record after the defense objected. During recess, Kapunan explained to reporters her remarks, saying the alleged scam victimized the Filipino people. She further claimed that the public was being deceived and referred to names such as Piatos, Mary Grace, Andy Lim, and Pikit in the Office of the Vice President's confidential fund receipts.
Ang ini-scam ngayon, hindi nanay, hindi tayo. Ang ini-scam ay taong bayan. Ang worth ng scam na yan ay 612 million. Kanya miskin natin ang dahil sa record. Eh, gusto ko lang sabihin yun kasi, syempre, para maintindihan natin. Pag in-scam kayo, di ba, masakit ang loob nyo? Di ba?
Parang budol lang, budol.
Pero ang binubudol tayo, ang daming mga pangalan. Piatos, Mary Grace Piatos, si Angdilim, si Pikit, at marami pang magkakaroon na other names.
Senator Ping Lacson says his investigation into Taguig City projects has uncovered what he described as a cauldron of worms. In a post on X, he cited alleged ghost slope protection projects and illegal reclamation in Laguna Lake. Lacson said the findings emerged after his meeting with officials of the Philippine Reclamation Authority. He also said he has already submitted evidence to the Office of the Ombudsman as part of the ongoing investigation. The senator added, quote, "There's no turning back." Lacson is engaged in a very public dispute with Senate Minority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano, whose family considers Taguig a bailiwick. Cayetano has since denied allegations of anomalies in the city's projects. In weather, blue alert remains in effect in several areas in Luzon or northern Luzon as continuous rains have worsened flooding in parts of Pangasinan. In Lingayen, floodwaters have inundated homes and roads with 17 of the town's 32 barangays affected. As of 8 a.m. today, Pag-asa is monitoring 3 weather systems in and outside the Philippine area of responsibility. One low-pressure area, formerly Tropical Depression Luis, was last spotted in the vicinity of Cabugao, Apayao, and is unlikely to redevelop into a storm. Another LPA was also spotted 180 kilometers west of Bacnotan, La Union, likewise unlikely to strengthen. Meantime, Typhoon Dolphin was last located 2,240 kilometers east of northeast of extreme northern Luzon. Once it enters PAR, it will be called Mia. All 3 systems, along with the southwest monsoon or habagat and localized thunderstorms, will bring rains to parts of the country today.
Tennis star Alex Ayala has officially broken into the world's top 20 after winning her first WTA 500 title at the Mubadala DC Open early today. 24 hours after getting rained out and with top seed Jessica Pegula leading by a set, the Philippine bet came from a 3-4 deficit to win 9 straight games en route to her very first career championship.
And of course, to all my supporters, thank you guys. So standing here in the middle of all this love, my first chance at the title, knowing it won't be my last, and already having achieved this feat and this milestone for my career, I knew that whatever would have happened after this match, it would have already been a win for me. So thank you, everybody.
Hey everyone! Oh my god, I won! It's my first WTA title. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!
Top officials are also celebrating the Pinay tennis phenom. President Bongbong Marcos lauded her triumph as another historic milestone, saying she continues to redefine what is possible for Philippine tennis and inspire young Filipinos to dream without limits. Impeachment presiding officer Cheese Escudero also mentioned Ayala's historic victory during today's proceedings.
Sa ngalan ng magatunggaling mga partido ng impeachment trial, nais po naming ipabatid ang aming nagkakaisang pagbati kay Binibining Alex Ayala sa kanyang panalo at kampyonato sa DC Open. Tunay na ikinararangal at ipinagbubunyikan naming lahat. Congratulations sa iyo, Alex. Kaya pag may inaantok po na Senator Judge, malamang nanood kagabi.
Joining us today, Storycon's resident political pundit.
/
Ano pa?
Genius. Yan.
Political genius.
Political genius.
Our Dalai Llamas, Mr. Ronald Llamas.
Ang iba hugot na lang. Salamat, Diego, Angela. No? Happy Tuesday.
No, happy
Kami
Tuesday.
muna ulit ang kasama mo.
No, wala naman akong choice.
Napilitan ka ba?
Pero, di ba,
Congratulate muna natin si Alex
Oy,
Ayala.
Alex,
We're very proud of
congratulations,
you,
ah.
Alex.
Congratulations. Buti na lang, meron tayong Alex, di ba?
Oo.
Hindi puro piatos, puro andilim,
Exactly.
no? Puro...
di ba ang magandang tanong daw dyan, pag pikit mo ba, dumidilim?
Ha?
Pag pumipikit, ang dilim na ba?
Minsan.
Minsan?
Oo, pero minsan kasi pag pumipikit ako, mas nakikita ko yung liwanag eh.
Basta maliwanag,
Lalim-
nanalo si Alex Ayala. And gusto lang natin parating sa mga tao, wag natin lagyan ng political color kung ano man yung color ng
Yes.
suot
Huwag
niya.
natin idamay si Alex.
Please do not touch Alex.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, wag natin siyang haluan ng politika.
Oh, kasi for context, nung nag-green siya the other day, ang daming umiikot-ikot sa social media. Ngayon naka-pink siya, wag nyo na lang dagdagan.
Si Alex ay natitirang entity natin dito na hindi tayo divided eh.
Hindi dahil...
Let it stay that way.
Hindi dahil yung kulay nung
Court green,
pinaglalaroan
no?
nila ay green.
Green.
Political din yun.
Exactly. I'm sure nakita mo yung mga ganong mga
Ang dami.
sa Facebook,
Ang
di
dami,
ba?
oh.
Ayan, pink naman yan.
Oo.
Di ba?
Nililinyahan ka agad eh.
So don't touch
Ano
her.
ba color ng hat niya? Yellow ba yan?
Parang green naman.
Parang lime green.
Oh, pero congratulations. So first
Congratulations.
win.
Proud of
Oo.
Oo.
Next stop, WTA 1000 naman. Oo, Toronto. Toronto.
And it's no easy feat for Alex because natalo na siya before ni Pegula. Tama ba ako?
Pegula.
So
Jessica
talagang,
Pegula.
We're very proud of you, Alex.
Naging inspiration sa ating mga kabataan.
Eh, kanina ba na-inspire ka dun sa naging hearing sa impeachment?
Oh, ano ang assessment mo, Mr. Genius?
Well, patuloy pa rin siya dun sa nakita nating shift
Yes.
sa mga documentary evidence. At wala siya yung hinahanap natin or nakasanayan natin na smoking gun. Yung dramatic exchanges. No? Ito, kwan lang parang authentication, inclusion as evidence, nandun yung proseso, procedural.
Yes, that's
yung
right.
naging emphasis. Katulad nung nangyari kahapon.
Yung
Yun
tama.
yung labanan. Pero kung maobserbahan mo ay sineset kasi nila yung pattern. Sineset nila yung mga processes para ipakita na, nangyari ito. Yung ganitong klaseng anomalya.
That's
so,
right.
imbis na explosions yung pinapakita nila, mas yung tedious, dahan-dahan, pag-create ng pattern.
Exactly.
Yun yung ginagawa nilang as a strategy.
Pero sa tingin nyo, Sec, may impact ito sa mga kababayan natin na nanonood, yung mga regular Joes na hindi masyado nakakaintindi ng law, na yung banggitin mo lang yung mga amounts na ginagastos over a period, very staggering amount. Do you think this will impact yung mga numero niya? Let's say, mag-survey na tayo next week ulit.
To some extent. Pero ang mahalaga kasi dyan, may mag-summarize eh. Paano, inuulit ko, very tedious at very procedural. Hindi ganun karami yung magsusubaybay dyan eh. Yung
Yes.
iba, pag nakita nila yan, 2-3 minutes, change channel na yan.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung mga katulad yun lang naman, yung porsigido na pinag-aaralan.
Kailangan
yung
pag-aralan
dinadaan ng
eh.
proseso, di ba?
Oo.
Pero yung marami sa mga may trabaho, magbe-break sila, no? Hihintayin nila yung drama.
Drama.
Yung drama. Kaya kung hindi ito mako-corroborate ng mga smoking guns, ng mga tao, katulad halimbawa nila Madriaga, katulad halimbawa ni Colonel La Chica, ay kailangan mo na lang i-summarize yan para sa mas malawak na madla.
Oo, para mas maintindihan.
hindi ganun karami ang magsusubaybay dyan.
Kasi
blow by blow.
Court of public opinion, malaking
Yes.
sway sa senator judges. Eh.
At syempre, yung public natin, naghahanap niya ng telenovela.
Yeah.
Yun ang hinihintay nila.
Well, for context again, it is day 12 of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte, and
Yeah.
it mainly focused on the misuse and liquidation of confidential funds
Yes.
of both the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education, kasi nga siya yung Deputy Secretary in those times. No? And the prosecution showed that the confidential funds were allegedly used and liquidated in ways that violated government rules. Specifically, ito yung laging binabanggit, COA DBM Joint Circular number 2015-01.
Yung notice of disallowance, AOM, tsaka yung suspension, di ba? Yung mga 3 stages na binabanggit ni Senator Lorna Capuna na pinagdadaanan with regards pagka-audit sa mga pondo nila, no? Pero ang isa rin very noticeable, tinatanong na marami, bakit tahimik tila yung mga senador? Kasi bukas po sila mag-interject
Yes.
before they transfer to the new witness. Pero may dalawang senador na hindi na mag-best friend ngayon.
Ho?
Oo, di ba? Nag-aaway sila eh.
Lagi
Nag-aaway
naman
sila
eh.
Oo. Ngayon, sa tingin nyo, Sek, ano ang nyo dito? Ano yung tingin nyo dito? Aabot ba to sa filing of cases ng ombudsman?
Siyempre, ang pupuntahan yan ay mga kaso. No? Pero siyempre, dahil nga yung Vice President is an impeachable official, later na yon.
Later na yon.
Oo, later na yon. Kahit naman yung grave threats yan ay pwedeng pumunta sa kaso. Pero
So-
not while the Vice President is an impeachable official.
So pag natanggal siya bilang Vice President, pwedeng
Yes.
kasuhan na siya
Pwede.
criminally.
Pwede. Hindi yan bali todo touch mo.
Touch.
And what's also striking in that hearing earlier today, yung confidential funds ng DepEd, wherein the prosecution stressed yung ilan ba yung mga ginastos nila per quarter, because it was established doon sa confidential funds doon na meron silang 125 million quarterly na kinukuha. Tapos sa DepEd naman, they have spent several millions of pesos pa rin on several programs, like yung mga terrorism programs, yung peace and order within the department. And
Yeah.
yung tinanong kanina ni Attorney Lorna Capunan, bakit kailangan ng peace and order within the Department of Education.
Education also yung pondong for anti-terrorism
Yes.
within schools. 'Di ba? So kailangan pa ng pondo sa laban sa terrorist sa loob ng eskwelahan.
Well,
Sek?
una ini-infiltrate daw. Pero kahit kasi ini-infiltrate, elementary, ini-infiltrate. No, usually ang recruitment nangyayari sa college,
College.
di ba?
College.
So, kaya parang doesn't hold water na pinapasukan yan, no? Dahil mga murang edad pa lang yung mga public schools natin, no? Hindi pa nila maunawaan ang kaibahan sa Chinese imperialism at US imperialism.
Start them young daw.
Start them yan.
Ang dami ko ang kilala, matatanda lang, hindi pa rin alam yung ibig sabihin nun. Mga bata pa. Kaya, katulad nung kahapon, focus pa rin yan sa audit reports, tax reports, mga government records, yung focus nila. Again, to establish a pattern na eventually pupunta yan sa kanilang conclusion na kaya may ganitong klaseng uri ng corruption, ito yung mga basis niya. Yan yung template.
Yan yung template niya.
Well, earlier today, there's a cross-examination by the defense doon sa kanilang witness na si former State Auditor Roderick Wamil. At doon ipinakita rin dito na sinasabi ni Attorney Powa na dahil hindi lang si Vice President Sara Duterte ang nagkaroon ng confidential funds,
A year
which is
before.
actually contrary doon sa sinabi nung witness kahapon na there was no record of any vice president. Well, sinabi naman niya, di ba, at least in his time, no, na-audit niya ang vice
Apparently,
president.
Starting
Ano daw is-
2014.
Yes.
Tama, Saro daw. A year before pumasok si Wamil, may Saro daw si, I think 2013. So si sino Vice President? Binay?
Oo, Binay.
Binay. Oh, so may Saro
Pero
siya.
effect ba yun?
Oh.
Doon sa
Well,
mga naging statement?
Basically, ang usapin pa rin na yan, whataboutism eh. No? Dahil ang usapin kasi rito, yung paano ginamit ng Vice President, yung kanyang intelligence at saka confidential funds. Parang kunyari, yung usapin sa grave threats na sinasabi, oy, ba't yung iba rin nagte-threaten din ng ganito? Eh di may sampahan ng kaso. Diba? Ibang usapin ito, parang isang big non-sequitur yun.
Yeah.
Ito yung nakaharap, ito yung harapin. Yung sinasabi rin na selective justice. Bakit yung iba hindi kinakasuhan? No? Tawag doon, whataboutism. No?
Kaya Sec Ronald, ang ganda rin nung parang naging sagot nung kanilang witness kanina, si Wamil, na sinabi niya, is it liquidated properly? Yun ang tanong niya eh, di ba? Parang tinatanong niya, okay, ang usapin kasi dito, na-liquidate ba ni VP Sara yung kanyang mga confidential funds? So kung meron din yung dating VP, na-liquidate din ba yun na maayos? Maganda ba yung punto na gano'n?
Yeah, magandang punto yun. Dahil sinasabi kasi niya, ito yung rules eh. Ito yung rules ng circular. Hindi absolute yung confidentiality. Kailangan nire-report mo. Ikalawa, meron din niyang basihan paano mo gagamitin. Halimbawa, hindi dyan kasama hindi kasama sa confidentiality ang furnitures, ang grocery, ang pagkain, no? Although hindi ko alam paano gagamitin ni Piatos yung mga gamot.
Yeah. Oo nga eh, di ba?
Kung non-existent from the very start si Piatos.
Actually, kasama yun doon sa mga pinag-usapan nila kanina eh, na there are activities or certain items
Na hindi talaga magpo-fall.
hindi pwede sa non-allowable expenses,
Yes.
medicines, food, even Christmas parties and
Yes.
tree planting. Tinanong niya ng prosecution doon sa witness kanina.
Kaya
di ba?
meron kang notice of disallowance.
Yun.
No? Kaya nga ang tanong, assuming na merong certain level ng confidential at intelligence fund yung ibang dating government officials, yun nga yung sabi ni Wamil, na-report ba yan na maayos? Nag-fall ba yan doon sa criteria ng expenses? Meron ba yung notice of disallowance? No? Katulad yung nagte-text sa'yo kahapon.
Sino ba nagte-text sa akin kahapon?
Tungkol sa notice of
Notice of
disallowance. ng previous government. Diba?
Wait,
meron kang
hindi,
meron
may
kang-
nag-text din sa
may
akin
news
kasi may
kasi.
lumabas na balita na nahuli na daw si Senator Bato de la Rosa.
There are unconfirmed
reports. But on the side of the PNP, sinagot ni Secretary Remulla, and I quote, please tell the press corps that as far as the PNP, we have no information to that effect. So, hindi naman denial, hindi rin admitan. Sa hanay ng PNP, wala daw siyang info kung nahuli na si Senator Bato. But we're trying to ascertain naman kung ano yung stance ng NBI regarding this. Kasi di ba, magkaiba naman sila
Yes.
ng reporting mechanism
Yes.
Oo.
Minsan nga wala silang coordination.
Hindi sila nag-uusap.
Kanya-kanya sila ng ng operasyon.
Eh, di ba,
Hindi ko naman
NBI?
sinasabi na ayaw nila sa isa't isa personally.
Hindi mo ba sinabi?
Wala ko sinasabi.
Wala
na
kang
ano.
sinasabi.
Sinasabi ko lang, minsan, hindi sila nagko-coordinate.
NBI is DOJ, di ba?
Oo.
DOJ.
Well, for context, for those who just tuned in, we're talking about
Senator
of course,
Bato.
Senator Bato de la Rosa, who remains in hiding as we speak. We don't know, but there are unconfirmed
Unconfirmed.
reports that nahuli na daw siya. Because as we all know, Senator Bato de la Rosa has an outstanding warrant of arrest
From the ICC.
From the ICC because of the case nga dyan as the
Again,
co-perpetrator
Pero
in the
importante
case
yan.
of former President Digo Duterte.
Importante yan dahil yung madalas na banat sa DILG, kay John Vic, sa gobyerno, wala naman kayo nahuhuli. Ang sagot naman dyan ni John Vic, bumaba naman ang crime, no? Especially petty crime. No? Pero siyempre, nakikita ng mga tao yung mga dramatic eh.
Oo.
Bantag, Atong Ang, Saldico, Harry Roque, di ba?
Mga big names.
Si Bato, yun ang nakikita nila. Bato lang nahuhuli dyan. Hindi naman na-appreciate ng marami yung bumababa yung statistics. Ang nakikita nila ay more than the statistics, yung mga high-profile wanted criminals. No? At kung sakaling totoo na nahuli nga si Bato, malaking panyan. Positive
Development.
para sa gobyerno, para sa DILG at para kay John Vic.
Oo.
Na minsan ay binabanata na wala namang nahuhuli.
Minsan ba? Minsan
Pero
lang
ano
ba?
ha, yung ka-text ko sabi may DOJ presser in a bit. So naka-standby tayo. Yun, ito yung tinatanong natin. Kasi DILG, PNP. Tingnan natin ang sasabihin ng DOJ kung i-announce
Yes.
nila.
Di ba
NBI
ikaw
yun.
ay
Oo.
man of mystery? Wala ka bang nakitang information ahead?
Ang hirap kasi tumawag habang nandito tayo. Mamaya
Sige,
tatawag
your
ako.
excuse now.
Pag-break na.
Or pwede na lang magpadala ka ng mensahe sa Viber mo.
Kanina, 2 oras ako kay Richard Heydarian. Pagkagaling doon, tuloy ako rito.
Okay, sige. Antabayanan natin yan. But then again, yun nga, there are unconfirmed reports that Senator Bato de la Rosa has been caught already, but we don't
Sana
know yet.
totoo. Dahil nung
Pero-
several months ago rin, sabi nila ay
Si Zach.
nakita na si Atong Ang. No? Ganun na lang. Ilang minuto na lang ay baka mahuli na. Pero
nakawala
Oo.
daw.
Kasi ang sagot naman ni titignan ko yung sagot ni Sec Remulla. Hindi naman sinabi it's not true eh. We don't have no information to that effect. To that effect daw. Mga man of mystery.
Talagang magaling ka talaga, Diego, sa double speak.
Don't speak.
Oh, di ba?
Di ba?
Ayan, maganda sa
Hindi,
double
but-
speak. Pwede ko sabihin na ganito, pwede ko rin sabihin na ganito. Hindi ako mapipin down, di ba? Dahil wala naman akong categorical statement, eh, di ba?
But we'll see what's going to happen
Oo.
doon sa magiging press con ng DOJ later on.
Oo.
But moving forward, let's talk about other issues aside from the impeachment case earlier today. Of course, yung pinag-uusapan din natin, yung
Dalawang senador.
love team ng Senado. Love team in a sense na magkaaway sila. Si Senator Ping Lacson at saka si Senator Alan Peter
Kasi for
Cayetano.
context, sinimulan daw ni Senator Alan Cayetano to at nagalit daw si Senator Ping at linabas. Biglang lahat, di ba?
Well, talagang magkaaway naman sila dahil
Ever since.
dito sa factionalism sa Senado. Di ba? Several months ago, yung away sa Senate
Yes.
leadership, magkaibang kwan talaga sila, kampo. No? At even before that, ay talaga namang may dynamic sila dahil si Ping mas identified dun sa mga anti-Duterte camp.
Right.
At si
Ever
Alan
since.
Peter mas identified dun sa pro-Duterte camp.
Yeah.
Lalong lumala yan dahil sinabi ni Alan Peter na tumanggap daw ng malita si Senator
Doon
Ping
lang.
Lacson.
Kaya naglumobo daw yung income.
Oo, tapos yung after nun, yung lumobo yung income. Doon na nagalit ng husto si Ping Lacson. Kahit alam niya na inoobserbahan, iniimbestigahan na si Alan Peter sa kanyang flood control earlier. Pero dahil wala pa yung Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, ay hindi pa niya nilalabas. Pero dahil nung binanatan siya ng ganun, binadali
Kaya
niya.
nga
Yan ang gusto ko itanong.
Hindi na niya dinaan sa Blue Ribbon. Dumiretso na siya sa Ombudsman. Oo. Kung magkakaroon ng Blue Ribbon next week or this week, na pag-uusapan niyo kay Alan Peter, nauna na yung Ombudsman.
Yeah.
Na hindi na siya
It begs a question pa rin na bakit ngayon lang, kahit na sabi mo dati na yung pinaghahandaan niya.
Oo nga.
Parang yung timing na, dahil talaga matindi na yung pag-aaway nyo, ngayon mo palang nilabas na may problema pala sa flood control.
Well, yes.
Ng Taguig.
Well, yes and no. Dahil inulan nila yung merong smoking gun, yung may testigo. Halimbawa, si Yusek Bernardo, in-implicate itong ganitong senador.
Kay
Si Bryce Hernandez, in-implicate yung ganitong mga senador, tsaka congressman. Yung Diskaya, in-implicate yung ganito. Dahil marami yan, no? Si Alcantara, ang daming niling. Dahil marami yan, hindi mo yan mapagsabay-sabay eh. Inuuna mo muna yung merong smoking gun. No? Yung kay Alan Peter kasi talaga inimbestigahan yan eh. No? Hindi yan nagsimula sa isang state witness.
Right.
Alam nila Ping na may problema diyan, no? Kaya tinugis talaga nila. Investigador si Ping eh.
Yes.
No, na, talagang kinuha niya, tinuloy-tuloy. At allegedly may tulong dun sa kapatid. No, kaya mas marami siyang nakuhang impormasyon tungkol dito.
For context, ito si GM Lino.
Oo,
Cayetano,
oo.
ng PTV4.
Yung kay Marcoleta, Angela, ay nakulong siya hindi dahil doon sa DPWH expose ni
Yes.
Ping Lacson. Nakulong siya dahil doon sa sarili niyang testimony tungkol doon sa tinanggap niyang pera while he was a congressman. No?
Yes.
Pero
Which is galing din sa kanya.
iniimbestigahan din ni Ping Lacson yan. No? Kung maalala nyo, several months back, sinabi ni Ping Lacson, meron niyang 500 million na insertions.
yes,
Allegedly, para i-confirm si Secretary Bonoan as Secretary ng DPWH. May ganung storya eh.
Yes, I
Pero
remember that.
kulang pa sa ebidensya, kaya hindi pa siya nakasampa.
Kumbaga hindi pa hinog
Oo,
at that time.
Hindi pa siya nakasampa. Kaya tuloy-tuloy yan. Ngayon, ito kay Alan Peter, napabilis dahil
Napikon.
hindi, tsaka may nakitang mga ebidensya, mga quadruple na mga proyekto na isa lang,
Oo.
pero 4 yung billing. Isa lang, pero
Yung isang photo,
4
diba?
ang JO.
One photo.
Oo,
Ah.
na kwan, no? So, very obvious yun, no?
Yeah.
Very obvious yun, no? At meron pang iba.
So may evidence na direct link talaga kay Senator Alan Peter?
Yes. Kaya nung humihingi ng ceasefire, allegedly,
Hindi daw
si
eh.
Alan Peter, 2 weeks ago, ay tinawanan lang ni Ping
Anong
Lacson.
word ang ginamit? Di daw ceasefire ang ginamit niyang word eh.
Truce.
Truce. Truce daw.
Para magkaiba yun.
Well, sabi naman ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, meron din naman daw siyang sagot doon sa mga paratang sa kanya. And he even invited Senator Ping Lacson to the gig. And he would gladly show the flood control projects that were diba, being alleged na sinasabi nila na
Yes.
may problema.
Oo, ang sabi ni Ping, wag na lang, baka malunod daw siya sa baha.
Hindi, malulunod daw siya sa katotohanan. O, diba? Lagi may sagot si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, akala nyo ba?
Oo.
Pero
Kaya-
what's noticeable also among the senators kanina, wala daw si Senator Loren Legarda. 2 days nang wala nung sa impeachment. Anong balita?
Well, hindi kasi maaraw ngayon eh. Makulimlim eh.
Solar.
Walang solar. Walang solar power.
Seryoso ako, tinanong ko, would you know why she's absent in the impeachment
Baka
trial?
inaayos yung ganyang mga kaso dahil seryoso yun.
Oo, mother and son.
Ombudsman mismo ang nagsabi. No, may conflict of interest, may anomalya dun sa pagbenta ng franchise, may anomalya dun sa hindi na-deliver yung alleged output ng franchise. So, yun, 3, 4 na...
Pati yung statement ni
Yun nga
Mayor
eh.
Atienza.
Former
Direct-
mayor,
Di ba?
Oo.
Direct bribery.
former congressman actually.
Di ba? Bribe daw siya 10 million or something like that.
Kaya nagpapatong-patong. Meron pa nung honey trap.
Oo.
So,
Sa anak naman niya yun.
pero siyempre, ako yan eh.
But others are quick to judge and saying na they're putting pressure on Loren Legarda
Dahil sa impeachment.
because of the
Yeah.
impeachment.
Possibly, no? Pero sa dulo kasi diyan, may kaso ba? Paano dati pa yan eh nung napanood ko yan nung naaprubahan yung franchise, nagtaka na ako eh. Walang AOR,
Yes.
walang location yung franchise. Ano nangyari yun? Sabi ko, nationwide.
Tsaka yung initial funding, 1 million. Nung in-adjust ni Sen. Loren, 1 billion lang. Kulang yun.
Oo. Dahil yung company, hindi ganun kalaki yung capitalization.
Oo.
Pero multi-billion yung
Multi-billion.
project. So, may mga red flags eh. Kaya nung pinapanood ko sa TV noon, si Senator Drilon na nag-raise ng issues eh. Pero eventually, naaprubahan.
down.
No? Naaprubahan. Dahil nga, yung nanay, head ng Finance Committee, the very powerful
Full
Committee of
Finance
Finance. Kaya,
And there's an allegation nga, balikan ko lang, no, from former Congressman Lito Atienza saying na nilapitan siya because she was the former finance head committee sa Senado and said na mabibigyan kayo ng ng extra budget for approve nyo lang yung franchise ng anak ko. Diba?
Nag-walk out daw siya,
For former Congressman Lito Atienza, dapat magbigay siya ng concrete proof, 'di ba, to support his allegation
yes.
naman.
Well, pwede namang yung proof niya ay circumstantial pa lang. Baka hindi naman niya na-tape yung meeting. At saka baka nung panahon kasi na yan, ay baka takot sila dahil ang gobyerno si Digong. At si Digong binindisyonan yung franchise, no? Kaya may iba-ibang variables pa yan at play.
Tsaka may middleman, di ba? Yung nag-invite daw kay, kay Congressman Atienza sa meeting eh. Sino yung nag-invite? Tapos pinagalitan pa daw si Senator Loren, bakit mo kasi sinubukan suhulan?
So, tungkol sa tanong mo, maraming problema yan. Baka
Yes.
kailangan ng panahon, mga abogado para kausapin ni Senator Loren para makapaghanda sila ng sagot at depensa.
Para mag-reflect.
Kaya hindi ako magugulat na nawawala siya. Dahil nga, seryoso yung kaso. No less than the ombudsman ang nagsabi na may ganyan klaseng problema.
All right, well, at this moment, and second sinasabi natin, we have a press conference from the Department of Justice. Let's watch this.
20 individuals, officials and employees of the DPWH, Cebu 3rd District Engineering Office. This is in connection with 2 flood control projects within that district's jurisdiction. So the first complaint was received by this office on July 29, 2026. A second complaint involving the same 20 respondents and the same charges, but arising from a separate flood control project has likewise been filed. So the 20 respondents are engineers and other personnel of the DPWH Cebu District Engineering Office. That's the 3rd DEO, including some private individuals who allegedly had a hand in the bidding and implementation of the 2 flood control projects subject of these complaints. So both complaints allege commission of the following criminal acts. 7 po ito. Number 1, illegal use of public funds or property or technical malversation under Article 220 of the Revised Penal Code. 2, malversation of public funds under Article 217 of the Revised Penal Code. 3, violation of Sections 3E and 3G of Republic Act Number 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. We have perjury under Article 183 of the Revised Penal Code, falsification by private individuals, and use of falsified documents under Article 171 of the RPC. With that is also falsification of documents by public officers under Article 172 of the Revised Penal Code. And lastly, the 7th charge is violation of Section 65B, 65 Bravo, paragraphs 2 and 4 of RA 9184 or the Government Procurement Reform Act. The department wishes to stress that these are complaints for purposes of preliminary investigation at this stage. Okay? Preliminary investigation only. So no conclusive finding has been made yet. Every respondent will be given the opportunity to submit a counter affidavit and controvert the evidence against him or her before the Department of Justice resolves the complaints. So we'd like to remind the public that these 2 complaints form part of the broader inquiry into flood control-related anomalies in the country. Should further complaints be filed, whether by the NBI or any law enforcement agency, this office will evaluate them under applicable rules and procedure. And thank you. We're ready to take your questions. Darlene. So these are, again, these are all individuals, either private or public officers, sa 3rd District Engineering Office of Cebu. That's Barangay Singsing Balamban, to be specific. May specific project ID per complaint. So that's 2 projects. I can provide you with a list of the 20 individuals after this. Hindi ko lang sila inisa-isa ngayon. Any further questions? Yeah. Report lang. Just an update on how the flood control investigation is being conducted and what the new complaints are with the DOJ. Iba-iba po sila. So I can't say for sure yet. What we know is that they were either private individuals or public officers. As to their exact position and designation, that's in the complaint. We'll release the list of respondents afterwards. I could send it to you. Okay. I cannot confirm that information. At least not yet. Wala pa po kami natatanggap na nangyari yan. Yan ang po masasabi ko ngayon. Okay. Just a quick updates. Thank you. More questions? Hindi pa po natin masasabi. Alam po natin na may naibalik na, na more than 800 million pesos. Okay, and I believe that there are more. The department actually expects more. So that's been returned to the Treasury at nabalik na po yan sa Kaban ng Bayan. Sa alin ba flood control? Okay, recap lang po tayo. Okay. Wala na po kasing pending here, just to be clear. Kaya ako po gusto rin i-recap. Okay. The flood control cases, again, we categorized them into 3. If you remember, yung first set were the Sims construction trading cases. The second set were yung Wawaw or top-notch catalyst builders. The third were the plunder cases. For yung Simpson Wawa construction, lahat po yan, each case pertains to one specific project ID, all of which were found in Bulacan First District Engineering Office. When the cases were filed here, when the complaints were filed here, either of two things happened. Number one, na-file po sila with the applicable regional trial court, that being a lower court. Bakit po lower court? Dahil DPWH officials or mga below salary grade 27 ang mga nasampahan. Kasi we know that the jurisdiction of individuals or public officers above are at least salary grade 27 and higher, and when the act is committed in the performance of their official public functions, that's where the Office of the Ombudsman as the investigating body, and then filed with the Sandigan Bayan as the appropriate court. So, dalawa lang po napuntahan nun, either Sandigan Bayan or with the Ombudsman, no, because we referred DC, lower court. And we know that all those cases which were filed with the RTC were transferred, the venue was transferred to Quezon City. So it's pending with RTC-QC right now, those flood control cases. Okay. Yes.
Can we get the status of the complaint filed by Louis Secretary Berlin against Congressman Leandro Delise tungkol po sa solar projects ng solar panel?
We'll have to get back with you with that, no, Mr. Lee. We don't have the information yet as to that particular case. Okay, so if there are no further questions, yun lang po. Thank you and good afternoon.
Okay, that was the recently just concluded DOJ press con on flood control projects.
Flood control projects sa
mostly
Cebu.
in
Sa Cebu, mostly in Cebu.
And the reporters that were asking about Senator Bato de la Rosa because
Oh,
there
we all
were
thought.
unconfirmed reports na nahuli na nga daw ito si Senator Bato de la Rosa. But of course, until now, we don't have
At
information.
nakakatawa, yung open forum, yun ang tanong.
Yun ang tanong nila.
Hindi, kasi nagkataon that this info
Because
came
people
in.
would want to know as well.
This info came in at the same time may press conference. So
Yes.
nag-surmise sa mga tao, baka ito na yung announcement pero wala pa naman. So sabi naman ng DOJ, at this moment wala daw silang info. So both DILG-SEC and DOJ, no reports yet.
Well, kung pareha sila nagsabi na wala, baka wala nga.
Wala pa.
DILG under ng PNP, ang DOJ under
NBI.
ng NBI, no? Tinext ko na si Director Matibag, no? Baka busy pa siya sa kakasagot sa mga tanong, no?
Oo.
Hindi naman pwedeng military intelligence.
Oo. Tingnan natin kung ano yung magiging ano pa. Okay. There are posts from, let's see.
Saan ba galing yung info tungkol dyan?
Oo nga, kasi merong, recently, there's a
Ah.
post coming from Attorney Jimmy Bondoc, okay, who is a known ally of the Dutertes. And he said, bad news is coming. Pray hard that it's not true for the good of the nation.
Sa kanya pala
And
nanggaling.
Senator Amy Marcos remains to be the only minority member inside the session hall of the Senate. Because nga, as I've said kanina, absent si Senator Cayetano, ganyan.
Pero sinabi kasi bad news is coming. Hindi mo sinabi may nahuli.
Nakuha na ba niya yung warrant?
Siya ba magsiserve?
Siya magsiserve.
Yun yung mahalaga
Yun
dyan.
naman, wag mo nang balikan. Okay.
Tawagan mo nga si Ses.
Joke lang. Anyway, so now for those who just tuned in, again, we are talking about the unconfirmed reports na nahuli na daw si Senator Bato de la Rosa, who has an outstanding warrant of arrest from the ICC.
Or posible naman nahuli. Tapos, siyempre, hindi naman kagad nila ipepresent sa publiko yan. No? Marami pa silang gagawin na kwan dyan na
mga procedural,
interrogation, sino ba yung mga kasabwat, sino ba yung
Saan
mga
siya
kasama nung
nag-ano?
nahuli.
Pero di ba, Sek, ang more prudent sa kanila is pag hinuli, quietly, tapos whisk him out of the country, parang ginawa kay President Duterte. Kasi baka magkaroon ng unrest, may mag-rally.
Posible rin yun. Posible rin yun. Pero yung kay Duterte kasi, alam
Yes, ang
na
daming
hinuli.
pulis oo.
Diba? From Hong Kong to the
So, even Davao.
airport,
Even sa
diba?
Diba sa yung airport sa Davao, may mga...
Police.
Alala mo yun, may mga police na sabi, training,
Sabi ni
exercise
General Torre, training lang daw,
Yes,
exercise.
yes.
Pero we all know na nakaabang naman sila.
At ang sinabi nila, dadalhin sa Krame, disinformation pala yun.
Yung
Dahil
pala
on
sa
the way na
Villamor.
papunta sa Villamor.
Yeah.
Diba? So, posibleng ganun din. Minamadali nila para wala na masyadong gulo. Diba?
Mamaya Viber mo ako ha, pag natapos yung show at wala pang update. I won't share it, I promise. Hindi.
Promise, ha?
Promise, ha?
Oo.
Ayan.
Kaso, yung asawa mo baka madaldal. No?
Sabi siya, porkit babae, madaldal na.
Oo.
So,
Hindi naman, dahil porque tiga TV5.
Ay, gano'n. Pag porkit taga TV5, madaldal na.
No, marami,
pero for-
marami akong
Judge
kilala
ka
rito
kaagad.
Marami akong kilala rito. Parang last year, sinabihan ko na, nagkwekwentuhan lang kami dyan. Apat lang kami, nagkwekwentuhan kami doon sa mga possible withdrawal of support. Ba, kinabukasan, lumabas na.
ano ba? Unidentified source?
Oo,
Huwag ka
lumabas
kasi
na.
magsasalita kung ayaw mong
Oo.
lumabas.
Sabi ko,
O, diba? I-gaslight kita ngayon.
Hindi, pero just for
mga tiga TV5 talaga, mga chismosa yan.
Hindi, we just need to know the truth.
Hindi, pero recap natin. Nagsimula, well, based na nakikita natin, nagsimula lahat itong usapin na to from Attorney Bondok.
Yeah.
Okay, na when he
Ay, we
said...
don't know kung sa
We
kanya
not.
nagsimula.
No, but there's a lot of things going on. So, syempre,
Baka mamaya,
people are easy
he
to...
also got the information. That's why he posted na
From someone else.
pray tayo,
diba?
bad,
Diba na?
ano,
Meron ako
bad
number
news
ni
kami.
attorney, text ko mamaya. Sabihin ko, hindi ko isi-share.
Oo.
Oo, sabihan mo rin. Patawagan mo na rin kasi.
Oo. Ay, nako.
Okay, so yun. So mamaya babalikan natin
Whatever
yung
the
issue
developments
na yun.
will be, oo.
Because we have a lot of things to talk about, especially the, of course, the impeachment trial of VP Sara
Yung pala
Duterte.
pinag-uusapan natin.
Oo. Oo, sige.
Oo, sige.
Puntahan muna natin si Amy Atienza dyan. Nasa ba si Amy sa...
Amy,
sa
where are
Senate?
you?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon. Nandito tayo sa Senado at actually medyo fast track yung naging araw natin dahil nga kaninang umaga ay sinimula natin yung ika-12 araw ng impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Kasama pa rin yung witness na nakasama kahapon na si Roderick Wamil, who is the former State Auditor of the Commission on Audit. So dito sa nangyaring impeachment trial ay nakita nga na merong lack of documentary evidence, pati na rin merong parang discrepancy pagdating doon sa date, doon nga sa accomplishment report na ipinasa ng Office of the Vice President at the Department of Education pagdating dito sa usapin ng confidential funds si Vice President Sara Duterte. At kanina nga lang din narinig natin yung naging pahayag mismo na nag-present for the side of the prosecution na si Attorney Lorna Capunan. Sinabi niya scam yung nangyari nga dito sa confidential funds si Vice President Sara Duterte. Naninindigan daw kasi siya na itong misuse of confidential funds na nagkakalaga ng 612.5 million pesos from both the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education ay isang malaking scam. Pero yun nga, nasabi din naman ng defense side na alam nila kung ano nga yung ginagawa nila, yung ginawa dito ni Attorney Lorna Capunan at nire-respeto pa rin naman daw nila yung pag-strike out nga nila, yung request nila to strike out that particular statement during the trial. So after that impeachment trial, syempre dumiretso nga din ng Senado para nga sa kanilang plenary session at nakita natin dito na dahil nga din sa news and reports na nababalita na baka hulihin ito si Senator Bato de la Rosa, we tried to check on the situation inside the session hall at 7 senators lang yung nakita natin doon mismo sa loob. So doon nakita natin sila Senator Amy Marcos, who is part of the minority. Andun din si Senator Risa Hontiveros, si Senator Ping Lacson, Mig Zubiri, Senate President Win Gatchalian, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Tito Soto. So sila yung nandoon sa loob. And nung tinanong natin, kasi we stumbled upon Senator Bongo before entering the session hall, ang nasabi dito ay dahil interpolation lang and he had to meet some guests lang din naman daw para nga doon sa araw na to. So it's not that they had the information na yun nga mahuhuli na si Senator Bato de la Rosa. They don't have any information yet as to what is actually gonna happen later on today. Pero yung tuloy-tuloy naman yung nangyayari nga dito sa Senado pagdating sa session na ginagawa nga nila.
Amy, meron ba diyang indication na magpapatuloy yung ganitong line of presentation na procedural at saka documentary bukas, or may bagong testigo silang iaharap tomorrow?
Well, yes. Well, for tomorrow, intayin pa natin yung interjections nga ng Senator Judges pagdating dito sa witness na si Roderick Wamil. And then after the interjections, we are also expecting a new witness for the side of the prosecution. Ito naman ay si Sailin Del Campo na siya namang current state auditor no, ng Commission on Audit para nga sa Intellectual and Confidential Funds Auditing Unit ng ahensya. So, ini-expect pa rin natin no, na it's gonna be documentary dahil nasasabi din na kanina na meron niyang ibang documents na hindi totally masasagot nitong si Wamil dahil wala na siya mismo sa position as state auditor. Nagkakaroon at napapasa na yung AOM na sinasabi. So, yun pa yung makikita rin natin in the next days of the impeachment trial, no, na medyo magbe-base nga sila dito sa kung paano nga ba nagastos yung confidential funds ni Vice President Sara Duterte with the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education.
Amy, there were manifestations kanina no bago matapos yung mismong trial from the prosecution and the defense side. Ano yung mga kanilang pinoint out?
Well, isa dito no Angela yung naging affidavit nga din ni Arturo Las Cañas na nagkaroon din ng point of opposition for the side of the defense kung saan nga sinasabi nila na it's a piece of paper no, hindi kasi notarized din yung sinasabing affidavit nitong si Las Cañas pagdating nga doon sa nabanggit no na grave threats pa rin na presentation ng prosecution, pero so far yun pa lang naman din yung narinig natin for that side no, pero meron din dito na merong marking of evidence na kinakailangan na gawin pa rin ng both parties, both the prosecution and the defense alongside the Senate Impeachment Court, although we're gonna wait pa kung alin nga bang particular documents yung kinakailangan pa nilang i-pre-mark kasi crucial din daw itong stage na ito para nga mapresenta mismo ng prosecution yung mga ebidensya pa na nais nilang mailatag pagdating nga mismo ng presentasyon nila dito sa trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte.
Okay, Amy, si Senator Escudero has said also na he allowed the marking of these evidence, pre-marking of these evidence pending a decision, a final decision from the presiding officer. Kailan ba mangyayari itong final decision na ito?
Well, we're gonna wait and see din, no, Jeko, kung ano nga ba yung magiging takbo din mismo nung trial. Pero in the next few days, syempre, abangan natin kung ano nga ba yung magiging decision ng korte mismo para nga dito sa pre-marking ng evidence. Well, so far naman kasi, para nga sa side din ng prosecution na what we heard during the press conference, no, ay confident pa rin naman daw sila sa mga mailalabas nilang ebidensya. And it's still up to the progress of the whole impeachment trial kung kinakailangan pa nga ba nilang magdagdag or maglaglag ng ilan pang mga witnesses na plano nilang ipresenta pagdating nga dito sa Article number 1 on confidential funds. Dahil doon sa pre-trial order, nakita natin there are around 21 individuals listed as a witness. So yun din yung inaasahan natin no, na baka nga may possible withdrawal din na mangyari. And also for the documents, these are also very crucial din na sinasabi nga nila para nga daw maipakita at mabuo yung naratibo dahil ang banggit din dito ni prosecution na spokesperson ay Robert Ace Barbers no ay itong nga daw whole confidential funds ay isang puzzle na unti-unting binubuo. So yun pa yung makikita natin sa mga susunod na araw para nga sa presentation ng prosecution on confidential funds ni VP Sara.
Alright, thank you so much for your time, mobile journalist Amy Atienza.
At this point, let's bring in former Integrated Bar of the Philippines President Domingo Igon Cayosa. Attorney, welcome back to Storycon. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Attorney.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon sa ating mga kababayan.
Alright, Attorney. I'm assuming na panood niyo po kanina
Day 12.
yung Day 12 ng impeachment trial. Ang tanong po dito, ano po sa tingin niyo po yung naging highlight or takeaway nung impeachment trial kanina?
Aside from yung mga nakakatawang pangyayari at na-smile yung mga huwes at mga witnesses at mga abogado, ang maganda dito yung cross-examination. There was a valiant attempt on the part of the defense, of course, to try to limit the damage of the direct examination.
But unfortunately, kasi ang purpose ng cross-examination is either to overturn yung direct examination or to convince the judges and the viewers na there's an alternative theory but there were good attempts to point that out, but these are more exceptional details. Hindi pa rin tibag kasi yung main testimony ng witness na meron talagang mga definite requirements for liquidation of confidential funds, because confidential funds are not, unlike what many people would believe, are not exempt from audit, and you have to liquidate. And because they are confidential funds, and in the past, this was a source of a lot of corruption, nag-issue nga nung COA Circular 2015-01. So that's the main testimony. And then, as to the details, the prosecution did a sampling of those questionable transactions at na-explain nung witness na hindi talaga nakapag-liquidate ng maayos yung Office ng Vice President at saka ng DepEd Secretary. Kaya nga umabot ito at this point, it is already a notice of disallowance. Of course, ang limitation ng witness na ito, before those things happen, yung subsequent processes, hanggang sa AOM lang siya at saka sa notice of suspension. So hanggang doon lang ang kanyang alam. But still, even under cross-examination, ay hindi pa rin natibag yung main testimonya niya na marami, substantial at marami yung mga transactions na hindi na-liquidate properly ng Office of the Vice President at DepEd. And there are also transactions that were not authorized transactions under that COA circular. So, the fact na inamin niya na on process yung iba, mga ganyan, does not, and then meron ding iba na na-explain daw, that was a good move. Napaamin niya na may mga iba na nasa AOM na na-explain, kaya hindi na umabot ng NS o kaya notice of disallowance. But there are so many question transactions. The fact na merong isa, dalawa, tatlo o 10 does not excuse you from your responsibility and your liability in case the others hindi mo ma-explain.
Attorney, nung first 3 weeks ng impeachment, yung isa sa mga major criticism doon sa proseso ng impeachment na nagaganap ay masyado daw na over-judicialize yung process. No? Ngayon naman, may lumalabas naman na initial na criticism na baka naman maging masyadong over-proceduralize yung process dahil ang nakikita ng mga tao ay mga documentary evidence, mga audit reports, bank reports, at saka yung debate primarily ay over procedures, no? Whether ito ay authenticated, whether ito ay admissible, etc. Ang kinakabahan ng iba, baka mag-sign off naman yung nanonood na mahalaga rin dahil yung court of public opinion ay baka dramatically mabawasan. So from your vantage point, tingin nyo ba may ganun talagang basihan yung criticisms na ito, or tingin nyo nababalanse naman yung pangangailangan ng ebidensya and at the same time conscious dun sa mga nanonood?
Well, the fear or the expectation or the tendency na mag-sign off yung maraming nanonood, I could understand that kasi ito pinag-uusapan mga numero na mga resibo, mga detalye na. So that's normal. People would want to avoid yung makarinig lang ng a few examples, okay na sa kanila to form a conclusion. And that's why I think yun ang ginagawa ng prosecution na ginagawa ng katawa-tawa para engage pa rin. But I would expect na kung tuloy-tuloy na isa-isahin mga ito, mabobore kasi halos pare-pareho naman ang sasabihin. Now, as to whether or not it is over-proceduralized, I don't think so. Because you're talking of specific transactions or specific periods at the very least. So it is necessary for the witness to tackle this. Kasi hindi rin natin pwedeng mag-assume. As a matter of fact, I think it was good, number one, na both parties agreed to stipulate on so many other documents. Secondly, both parties agreed to cite and rely on that rule regarding voluminous documents, voluminous evidence. So, nag-agree naman din, in fairness to the defense, nag-agree sila doon. Kaya ang ginagawa ngayon ng instead of presenting all the 800 and another set of 3,600 documents, nag-agree sila to rely on that rule na magbigay ka na lang ng general picture of what are in those documents and then magbigay na lang ng sample. Yun ang ginagawa nila ngayon. So, I think makakatulong yan to abbreviate the whole process.
Well, attorney, no, ang comment ng iba is, ang katanungan din is yung tinatahak ba ng direksyon ng prosecution, you think, just like nangyari sa grave threats, is enough to sway the senator judges into voting for a conviction? Kasi sa grave threats, di ba, hindi naman daw kailangan ipakita yung actual assassin. Dito, hindi po ba kailangan or importante ipakita kung sino talaga ang tumanggap ng pera?
No, it's good that you asked that. Yun yung layman's thinking, no, na di ba, at meron ding attempt on the part of the defense, di ba, tinanong niya, meron ba ditong nakalagay na kahit isang kuting binulsa ng Vice President, di ba? That was a very pointed question. But then we have to remind our audience or the people, or I'm sure the judges, senator judges have been briefed by their lawyers, we hope so, because meron na ho kasing jurisprudence with respect to failure to liquidate. Na pag you fail to liquidate, the prosecution does not need to prove na binulsa mo yan. There is a legal presumption at ito hindi ho bago. One case involves Mayor Datu Tangote of Lanao del Norte, 1994 case ito. And then there was a more recent case, 1999, si Mayor Martinez of Caloocan City. Ang doktrina dito sa Supreme, ganun din, nakasuhan din sila ng graft and corruption, failure to liquidate public funds. Ang ruling ng Supreme Court dito ay if any public official fails to properly liquidate public funds na hawak niya at ginastos niya, it is prima facie evidence na you use that for your personal benefit. So hindi naman kinakailangan. If our expectation is the prosecution should prove that binulsa, pumunta sa bank account ng nasasangkot o nasasakdal na government official, hindi na ho kailangan yun because there's that presumption.
So are you saying, attorney, that a mere misuse of these confidential funds could be tantamount to an impeachable offense or high crime or a betrayal of public trust? Because that will be the question sa mga minds then.
Yes. It's not even misuse. The failure to properly liquidate gives rise to a prima facie presumption that you use it for your own benefit. So, importante ho na ma-establish because that's a principle in law. That's the law. That's jurisprudence. As far as I know, that hasn't been overturned. That hasn't been changed. So it applies to this case or any other case of malversation, graft, or corruption.
In relation,
as long as maipakita ng COA na she failed to properly liquidate, then mananagot siya. At so far kasi, there are many transactions. Of course, there are some transactions na at the AOM level, hindi na umabot sa suspension or sa yung disallowance. But then again, that doesn't tell the whole story. There are also many other incidences or disbursements na umabot hindi lang sa suspension, kundi sa disallowance na. So as far as COA is concerned, meron na silang final decision within COA na disallowed naman ito. So the Vice President was already given so much time to explain this away. Yung iba, nagtagumpay siya, but marami pa rin ang hindi. Kaya nga umabot sa notice of disallowance.
In relation do sa tanong ni Diego, attorney, no? May nakausap kasi ako na ilang mga members ng prosecution at sinasabi nila na pinag-uusapan pa nila kung talagang magpo-produce sila ng mga smoking gun testimonies as such. Dahil yung iba sa kanila ay iniisip na baka sapat na itong documentary evidence na ito para dito sa article na ito. Pero hindi ba para sa dalawang purposes? Una, to strengthen yung documentary evidence, kinakailangan mo ng may magko-corroborate na tao, na testigo, no? Katulad halimbawa ni Colonel La Chica, katulad halimbawa ni Madriaga, etc. At ikalawa, para masustain yung attention ng Court of Public Opinion, kinakailangan may makita silang muka rather than mga papel lamang, di ba? So, from your vantage point, tingin nyo ba ay sapat na yung ganitong klaseng mga documentary evidence at hindi na kinakailangan ng mga smoking gun testimonies katulad dun sa previous article?
Well, maaring sapat na, pero kung meron naman sila, halimbawa, magkatugma yung testimony o yung sinasabi ni Madriaga o sino man, no, na talagang yung mga withdraw nila ay dinala nila sa ibang bagay. Hindi ho totoo yung accomplishment report, hindi totoo yung mga kaya peke lahat yung mga pinapirma nila, mas makakatulong yon. But what we're saying is there's enough presumption in law that can already make it stick. But as you say, na there's the political side of this. Hindi naman lang yung usaping batas kasi pagdating sa impeachment. So maganda rin if they have competent and credible witnesses whose testimonies would jibe with what has already been established dito sa mga documentary evidence and the audit report of COA, di mas mabuti yun. It's icing for the cake.
Well, Attorney, this last 2 days were quite a lot in terms of presenting the evidence of Article 1. At ang defense po kanina sa kanilang cross-examination, pinoint out that the witness testimony or yung mga sinabi niya ay only preliminary. So ang tanong po dito, Attorney, ano po ba ang effect nito doon sa mga sinabi nung witness? Gayong sinabi nga nitong defense, preliminary lang naman yan, that's not final.
Well, it is true na preliminary lang kasi pinag-uusapan lang kasi umalis siya sa unit na yan kasi Di ba? So, alam niya, in-investigate niya, may AOM siya, meron na siyang nabanggit na notice of suspension. Hindi siya umabot dun sa notice of disallowance Pero siguro yung susunod na witness, siya na yung magtatapos niyan. Kasi kung siya yung hanggang ngayon nandyan pa o hanggang at least at the time na nag-issue ng notice of disallowance, then he can finish. No? The other aspect that we have to take into consideration also is this. Ito evidence for the prosecution lang. So hindi rin nila alam kung anong sasabihin ng evidence for the defense, di ba? Baka biglang merong mga titindig dyan na sabihin sila nga si Mary Grace Piatos, and then at maayos ang kanilang testimony, di medyo mahirap. Kaya maganda rin, yung sinasabi kanina ni Ronald na mas maganda kung meron na magtestigo na yung mga ibang pera dyan na winidraw sa bangko, hindi na namin diretso dun sa ibang tao, hindi na. Para ma-foreclose pa yung possibility na baka nga meron silang magandang explanation o meron silang magtetestigo na mag-aamin, sila nga talagang tumanggap ng mga yan. Kasi ngayon, the presumption is they are fictitious persons, these are disallowed, pero yung hindi siguro necessarily now, kasi impeachment court ito, yung hindi ginawa o hindi nagawa ng Vice President dun sa proseso ng COA, baka nga pipilitin nilang gagawin ito, i-explain away nila lahat ng mga basehan for the disallowance.
Meron pong may pinresent po kanina si Attorney Powa na Circular 2014 at 2012 if I'm not mistaken. Tapos may sinasabi po si Attorney Lorna Capuna na itong joint circular na 2015 supersedes it. Kasi parang
Yeah.
doon po pinupunto ni Attorney Michael Powa yung kanyang pag-cross-examine sa witness. Ano po ba 'yun? Paki-explain po sa publiko yung pinagtalunan po doon. At sino po yung tama?
Well, ang pin-point out niya kasi, merong COA circular na much earlier, I think 1990 something.
Oo nga eh. Wait, I have to
Nakalagay doon na bawal daw i-reveal yung pinaggamitan ng
Yes.
intelligence fund without compromising national security. So he's lifting
1992, Attorney.
1992, yes.
Yes,
So he's
oo.
lifting from an old COA circular just a portion. So mas maganda na basahin yung buong circular na is it on point. So it is an argument of law. So hindi rin maganda na yung witness ng COA who's testifying as to matters of fact ang magsasagot niyan. You can actually argue that in your memorandum. But tinanong niya at nagkaroon naman ng pagkakataon na yung kabila naman, sabi nila, 1992 yan. Dito may 2015, mas recent. At tama naman in the interpretation of laws, circulars, or rules. Kung merong mas recent kwan, then and in conflict with an earlier circular or law, the proper interpretation is the more recent circular or law would amend or modify or cancel the inconsistent provision. Secondly, which is also a principle in interpretation, kung dalawang batas yan, yung isa mas specific. And in this particular case kasi, itong COA Circular 2015-01 is very specific, focusing on confidential and intelligence funds. And if you look at the history of this, ito precisely ginawa not only by COA, but it's a joint circular, not only COA, but DBM, DILG, DND, and GCG, mga government corporations. Why? Because it was really meant to curb yung abuse sa use of confidential funds. Kasi noon pa, ginagawa na yan. So nakikita na nila na this was a thing at the time of Pinoy, part of their reform agenda. They made it more strict. So in that sense, in this using these two principles in interpreting laws, mukhang mamamayani yung 2015-01 circular over and above general provision in the 1992 circular of COA.
Di ba dapat alam ng defense yun? Bakit ipinresent pa din?
Well, yun, optics, as we all realize and we all concede, may optics din kasi ito eh. So, kailangan pumuntos ka rin one way or the other. Di ba pati yung tanong niya na meron ka bang isang kusing na ano? So, yan, naiintindihan ng taong bayan eh. So, I'm sure all the lawyers there know na there is this Tangote rule and the Martinez rule, di ba? Na consistent ang Supreme Court. But 99% of the Filipino people, they don't know about these things. So pag yung sinabi na meron bang isang kusing na nakalagay dyan na binulsa niya, yun ang maintindihan nila. Yun ang papasok sa kanilang mental process. That's why it's also important for media or lawyers to explain ano ba yung nasa batas. Because at the end of the day, it's not only also yung perception ng taong bayan, pero yung batas at katotohanan din.
What is accordance with the law?
Of course.
Well, isa pa rin po dun sa pinag-usapan kanina, why is it important for the prosecution to point out that there was a meeting between the COA and the defense, kasama po dun si Attorney Michael Powa, asking guidance for the liquidation and requested nga daw po na dapat audit query na lang instead of AOM. Can you tell us more about it para po mas maintindihan din po ng publiko kung ano po yung importance nung pag-present po ng prosecution of that meeting?
Well, I think number one, talking of optics, maganda na masabi niya yan para lahat ng mga posibleng kampi ng Vice President, di ba? These are crucial people, yung Chief of Staff niya, si Attorney Powa, Lead Defense Counsel, para bang alam mo yan eh, nagkukunwari lang tayo dito. Yun ang dating sa masa eh. Kasama ka pala dyan. Alam mo na pala merong mga nagne-negotiate pa kayo kung anong tawag. That's very important. Secondly also, the fact that they met on this and discussed it would prove the fact that the Vice President was given a chance to explain this away noon pa. At hindi niya nagawa, kaya umabot sa notice of disallowance.
Okay. Alright, there are also a lot of names na nabanggit yesterday, 'di ba, regarding dun sa mga supposedly aliases, no? Yung merong kang Mary Grace Piatos,
Nova Santos.
You have Miko Harina, you have Alexander Piquet. Natatawa si
Andy Lim.
Andy Lim, Alexander Piquet, you have Cisfronio Balsac, yung mga ganon, ano. Sa ano po ba ng tao, sa ordinaryong tao, tama po ba na may mga ganoon na mga pinapangalan pagdating sa intelligence operation? Kasi I remember sinabi po ni former COA, Heidi Mendoza, nung nakita daw nila dati yung sa ginawa nung Napoles scam, ang mga pangalan daw na nilagay nila ay mga galing sa mga bagong pasa, no, sa bar exam or COA exam, if I'm not mistaken. Pero ito, parang naging mas creative, no, yung pagkakaroon ng aliases. Your thoughts on that?
Well, number one, I think it was important. Well, ganito. Pwede namang gumawa ng aliases muna when you liquidate. But it does not exempt you from pag yan usisain ng COA, you really have to reveal kung sino yung totoong binigyan mo. Because it has to be it has to be verifiable. It cannot be a fictitious name. Because if it's a fictitious name or fictitious person doesn't exist, ibig sabihin, binulsa mo, ginamit mo yung pondo. Walang tumanggap kundi ikaw. Okay? So but it's also important na for the prosecution na banggitin yung mga nakakatawang because humor appeals to everyone, di ba? So kung makikita mo yan, so, talagang ginagago tayo dito. Yun ang dating sa taong bayan na yung pangalan pa lang hindi ka pati-paniwala. It can also, I don't know, in their memorandum point out na sa totoo lang, mas maganda sana ginamit nila yung mga pangalan ng bagong pasa sa bar o mga bagong pasa sa medicine. Kasi mas realistic. Ito kasi, yung mga pangalan talagang obviously gawa-gawa na. Unless of course they can produce all of them. So it also reveals the haughtiness and the thinking of impunity. Na kahit katawa-tawa ito, kahit hindi tayo magagalaw dito because we're in power. We're politically connected. So baka yun din ang gusto nilang ipalabas. And then thirdly, of course, even before proving na these people don't exist, doon pa lang sa pangalan, parang kaduda-duda na. Yung many people will already believe, peke mga ito, gawa-gawa lang nila. So baka yun purpose nito. But, and also, inuunahan din nila yung defense because they're not sure whether or not the Vice President or the defense can produce actual people behind this transaction and they can stand cross-examination. Yun din ang isang siguro fear ng or wariness ng defense. If you come up with people, they'll be subjected to terrible cross-examination pagpipiestahan sila. So ito yung mga the optics is very important. At the same time also, there's probative value sa mga ganitong mga pangalan because yun nga, it shows yung utter disregard, yung bang feeling of entitlement o kaya of impunity. Kaya kahit pangalan na ng chichirya, okay na lang yan kasi hindi naman tayo dito masisita.
Pero si Senator Bato nag-double down dyan. Sabi niya, merong mga tunay na mga tao na ang apelido ay Piatos sa Davao at saka sa Palawan. No, ginanong pa niya, in-specify niya. Kilala ko pa yung mga yan.
Well, yun na nga. It's very, well, of course, they are political allies. They are popular. May following yan. So, kahit magbigkas sila ng mga ganyan, kahit totoo o hindi na sila masyado apektuhan. They're not under oath. Diba? But if you are nasasakdal, if you're a witness and you make those claims and you cannot support it, you're dead meat, diba? You can be liable for obstruction of justice, you can be liable for perjury. So, madali yung magkomento, pati yung mga vloggers, di ba? Yung kung sino-sino, kung sinong popular. But that's outside this. We hope that it will not affect the thinking of at the very least, the senator judges. Yung taong bayan, they are subjected to all kinds of kanya-kanyang propaganda eh. So kung minsan, kung hindi natututukan at hindi na ipapaliwanag ang buong konteksto ng nangyayari at ano yung mga batas o mga jurisprudence especially, baka nga malilihis o kaya mapagtatakpan o kaya malilinlang ang mga senator judges, hopefully not kasi matatalino naman sila, marami silang mga abogado, but yung taong bayan.
Oo. But for the sake of fairness, attorney, meron po bang naging puntos ang depensa dito sa kanilang pag-cross-examine?
Meron naman, like for example, binigyan siya, o sabi mo, wala pang presidente na binigyan ng intelligence fund mula nung ikaw nakaupo dyan. Anong year ba yan? O ito, pakitaan kita. Merong Saro yung vice president noon. Nandyan ka na. But hindi pala totoo. So, but hindi na nila
Pero may
pinursu
weight ba
ito. Yun, kung makikinig ka din, pwedeng i-pick up yan ng mga vloggers na pabor. Totoo naman na sinabi niya. Ganun. So, credibility maano ng konti, di ba? Yung kanyang credibility. Maganda sana kung sa redirect, kinanong niya, meron ka bang in-audit? Kasi ang testimony niya is only with respect yung mga transactions na in-audit niya. But of course, kung aaminin na meron pala, so parang siguro sinungaling ka kasi nagsinungaling ka dito. So, meron namang punto. There are fine points, small points that the defense counsels were able to exploit to at least chip away from the credibility of the witness. But it was not enough to overturn yung yung body of his testimony and the documents, the receipts presented so far, at saka yung probative value ng mga ito.
Attorney, may huling tanong na lang on another issue. Dahil dito kay Bong Revilla, na nabigyan ng bail dahil daw mahina daw yung evidence, kahit mismo si Yusek Bernardo ang nag-testify na dinala niya yung pera personally, no, kay Senator Bong Revilla, ay medyo nagalit si Ombudsman Boying Remulla. Ngayon lang ako nakarinig ng ombudsman na inamin, sabi niya, tinrabaho ito. No? Alam naman natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng trinabaho. No? So, tapos sinabi rin niya na wake-up call na ito sa amin. No? Yun, medyo cryptic pa yon. Pero from your vantage point, tingin niyo ba tinrabaho talaga ito?
As you say, yung tinabaho kasi, I think that was a conscious term. Because it can be an innocent tinabaho. Talagang nag-research, nag-pleading, whatever. The other side of this is tinabaho ito. Either political influence, binayaran, sinuhulan. But you know, that was a calculated and very pointed use of the word. It can go either way. So now, depende sa iyo kung anong interpretasyon mo at malikot ang isip ng taong bayan, lalong-lalo na yung korupsyon mukhang sa lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno, including judiciary, nandyan yan eh. So, yun ang background, di ba? Pangalawa, ano yung ibig sabihin na eye-opener, we learn our lesson. So, again, dalawa ding interpretation yan. Ibig sabihin, eye-opener, mukhang yung aming standard na with reasonable certainty of conviction, kulang pa. Or pwede rin yung eye-opener na kahit anong gawin namin ito, meron ding kalokohan dyan sa judiciary kasi magkaiba yung ombudsman sa judiciary eh. So again, double-edged din yan. But I hope it drives home the point, yung palagi nating sinasabi, when we talk about corruption, when we put it to sa forefront, yung corruption, hindi lang sa executive or legislative. Kasi tumang-tuwa tayo, iniimbestigahan yung executive or mga politicians kasi paborito natin ang politician, notorious na daw sila di ba? But kahit palagi magkasuhan, pag kinasuhan, wala na sa control ng, mababawasan na ang control ng prosecution di ba? Kung tutuusin natin, yung iba nga na mandarambong, inuunahan na nga ang taong bayan. Pag yan ay nasuspetsyahan o kaya napagbintangan, uunahan pa sasabihin niya, sige, kasuhan mo ako. Why do they do that? Kasi alam siguro nila, kaya nilang ilusot sa justice process. At a great part of that, and the final say, are the judges. The justices, the judges, all the way up to the Supreme Court. So ito should open our eyes na ang ating vigilance, ang ating resoluteness na magkaroon ng accountability kasama ang mga hukom. Because this is a fact, this is not an opinion. Over time, nakita natin na meron ding mga judges, justices, all the way up to the Supreme Court na napatunayan na dishonest. So, again, yun, eye-opener para sa ating lahat. So, the vigilance should be at all levels of the justice process.
So, malinaw na kung anong ibig sabihin ni Attorney
Tinrabaho.
Cayosa ng tinrabaho.
Basta ang alam
In
ko,
so many words.
Basta ang alam ko isa na.
Ang galing ni attorney
Galing attorney
Very
Maingat
safe.
tayo dyan kasi kami
Very
mga
safe.
abogado,
Yes,
pwede nilang,
abogado.
sa code of professional responsibility of accountability. Kayo,
Understand.
wala. But your journalistic ethics, I'm confident. Why? Because I can cite, there are decisions of the Supreme Court. Merong mga pinagtatanggal na justices. Merong pang na-impeach sa Chief Justice. So the fact is, meron talagang corruption. And within themselves, they would know. They would know. Unfortunately, ang aking palagi sinasabi, the judiciary is very slow and sometimes incapable in weeding out the corrupt.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Ang joke ko nga ito, because, di ba, dapat sa judiciary, yan dapat ang talagang doble dapat ang integrity kasi sila na yung nagdidesisyon, di ba? Sila nagtitimbang. So, but then, of course, ang question dyan is, bakit meron pa ring na may dinidismiss ang Supreme Court. Merong
Yeah.
That's right.
na-impeach, no less the Chief Justice, di ba? So, ang joke, ito joke be clear,
sige.
baka naman, ang joke ko nga sa ibang kakilala natin na mga juez o mga justices, members of collegiate body, sabi ko, kasi kung iisa lang sa inyo dyan, ang medyo tiwali, no? Madali yung tanggalin kasi mag-isa siya. Kaya siguro kayo nahihirapan tanggalin, baka nga marami sila o baka mas marami kesa dun sa mga hindi tiwali. Yung theory lang naman yan, di ba? I'm not making any claim, but it's just a theory na
Sige
na
po.
pwedeng maglaro sa ating kaisipan. But
Alright.
again, as a lawyer, we have to
Okay.
That's right,
support
that's
the
right.
integrity ng ating justice system.
Joke ni Attorney.
Joke lang yan,
Sa akin, hindi joke yun.
Basta ang alam ko, magtatrabaho ako ng maayos. Gagapang ako
Oo,
araw-araw.
kasi marami akong kilala eh.
Oo.
sige.
And then, pero for now, thank you for talking to us, former IBP President Attorney Domingo Igon Cayosa. Thank you for your time, Attorney.
Salamat, Attorney.
Maraming salamat. Sana hindi tayo ipatisbar.
Hindi yan. Maayos naman pagkakapaliwanag.
That's a joke.
Tsaka meron pa naman kayong possible political career.
Oo. Pero may tanong ako sa iyo. Thank you. Thank you po, attorney. Thank you for joining
Salamat,
us. Okay, so that was former IBP President Attorney Domingo
Igon
Cayosa.
Cayosa.
Okay. So, Sec Ronald, may tanong ako sa iyo. Kung ikaw bibigyan ng pagkakataon magbigay,
Magtrabaho?
hindi,
Akala ko
magbigay
trabaho.
ng pangalan ng alias. Kasi di ba very creative sila? Ano ang gusto mong i-contribute?
Siyempre, Dalai Llamas.
Ay, pwede. Ikaw, Diego.
Ha?
Ikaw.
Political genius.
Hindi. Yung pangalan talaga, like, kunyari ako si Christy Pata.
Ha?
Wala ka lang maisip, corny ka.
Nakaw, una.
Hindi na ako sasama dyan. Pag ganyan
Manda,
dynamics.
Rambo.
Corny na kukorny na hindi.
Hindi, wala. Gusto ko lang
Hindi,
tanong.
dati sa Napoles, merong dahon.
Oh.
Alam mo ba kung sino yun?
Sino?
Siyempre, yung politiko
Dahon-dahon lang.
na pinapakit yung sarili niya na environmentalist.
Sino
Tapos
yun?
yung isa,
Dahon-dahon lang
ang tawag
ba yan?
sa kanya sa listahan ni Napoles, si Pogi.
Si Sexy.
Oo, si Sexy.
Alam na natin sino
May
yun.
mga ganon, di ba?
Sige.
Sexy nga ba si Sexy?
Ha?
Na.
May tanda pa, I remember.
May tanda pa.
Di ba?
Oo.
During that
Parang
time.
hindi.
Hindi siya sexy?
Oh, pangit nga eh.
Oy.
Pangit
Anyway.
katulad ko.
Anyway, so...
Oy, tomorrow, meron tayong day 3, interjections from the Senate.
Yes,
Gusto makita
from the
ng taong
Senator
bayan,
Judges.
Senator Judges, ang taong bayan is if si Senator Alan Cayetano ay may gana daw tanong.
Tanong.
Yan ang barometer daw kung bothered siya eh.
Okay.
And of course, former State
Attendance.
Auditor Roderick Wamil will still be
To answer those questions.
taking the stand tomorrow.
And it remains to be seen sa attendance sa mga senator like Senator Loren Legarda, Senator P. Cayetano, if they'll all be there. Kasi medyo 15 lang ata sila kanina eh.
Oo.
Okay.
Kung ikaw
Tsaka panghuli, yung pinanggalingan yata ng post tungkol kay Bato, tinake down niya
tinake
na yan.
down ni
Yung
Attorney
kanyang
Bondo.
post.
tinake down na.
Tinake down na niya.
Baka na kuryente.
Oo, bakit naman daw nagpo-post agad ng gano'n? Oo. Ay, well.
Correct.
Okay, thank you for joining Storycon today. Of course, to our political pundit, Ronald Llamas. Our resident political pundit. At saka Dalai Llamas.
Dalai Llamas.
Mag-isip ka pa ng alias mo.
Ako
yung matunog din, yung parang sa mga aliases.
Dami lang naisip ni Christian Esguerra. Pati ako
Nag-isip din ba siya?
Nagkakaroon na ako ng split personality sa dami.
Gagawa na lang ako FB page mo, Dalai Llamas. Ako na mag-manage niyan. Oo.
Well, Storycon is back at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Sitting in for Regina Lay. Thanks for watching. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Diego Castro, kapat.
Dito pala.